Yo. Freedom marches was good. Freedom fighters, freedom family, freedom lovers. It's your boy, Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, coming at y'all with a quick live stream. I'm on, oh shit, let me slow down. I'm on a road back to Georgia. Got to go back to work tomorrow. Spent the weekend with the fam. Now it's time to get back to work. Spend time with the fam, and the fam is coming back with me. So they'll be staying with me in Georgia for like 2 weeks. You know, hang out with Big Daddy. You know what I mean? But anyway, I wanted to touch on a couple things, man. A lot of shit going on in the news right now. A lot of shit going on in the world. You know, we still got this Russia-Ukraine thing, and then we got America versus Ukraine with Haney versus Vasil Lomachenko. Then we also got Senator Chris Murphy calling for revolts against the Second Amendment. Which, how you gonna revolt when you don't want no goddamn guns? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna revolt? What you gonna do? Pick up some sticks, maybe some slingshots and some rocks? Come on now. Anyway, there's a lot of shit going on, man. It's just at this point, it's like covering a lot of this stuff. It's almost like a broken record because, I mean, it's the same shit over and over again. You know, you got the Kabuki theater, the left-right paradigm lie. It's just a lot of bullshit going on. You know, a lot of shit that, honestly, we should not be paying too much attention to beyond knowing what it is. We know that a lot of shit is propaganda. We know a lot of shit is lies. We know there's a lot of BS being peddled. We know these things. We just need to use it as fuel to remind ourselves, like, look, man, this is what it is. Fuel to, we need to use this as fuel to build that fire of independence. To keep that, just to build the fire of independence. To build the fire of freedom. We need to use all this nonsense as fuel. You know? And so, I mean, but I do want to talk about this boxing match because I like boxing. I enjoy it very thoroughly. And I wanted to put my 2 cents in about this Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight. And it's not going to take long, all right? Now, a lot of people who saw that fight, a lot of people, maybe the majority of people, think that Devin Haney lost to Vasil Lomachenko. They think that he lost to Vasil Lomachenko. And not so many people initially thought that Lomachenko won. Some people thought that Devin Haney won. I am one of the people that think Devin Haney won. As a matter of fact, I know he won. All right, he won at least 7-5, 8-4. Okay, 8 rounds to Lomachenko's 4. And you know the reason for this is because clearly controlled and won the first half of the fight. All right, maybe he lost round 3, maybe he didn't. Maybe that one went to Lomachenko. The first 7 rounds he won 6. All right, you might be able to give Lomachenko round 8, but he lost in round 9 and he came through in 10 and 11. Boom. You might be able to give him 1 or 2 more swing rounds, but at the end of the day, man, Lomachenko lost. Lomachenko lost that fight. All right, Lomachenko lost that fight, and that's just what it is. You know, he came by too late. If you give Devin Haney 7 rounds out of the, if you give Devin Haney 7 rounds before you turn up, it's too late. And that's what he did. Devin Haney Did not get overwhelmed by the footwork like people thought he would. He did not. He did not get overwhelmed by the flurry of all these little 10-second flurries out of 2 minutes. Like, 3 minutes in a fight, 3 minutes in a round. You throwing flurries, 30 seconds of those 3 minutes does not win you the fight, especially if you're missing a lot of those. And what I mean by miss is, yeah, you hitting the glove, but if you're not landing on the face or on the head, you don't get points for that. That's what a lot of people don't understand. You don't get points. You don't get points. Shit, fucking raining. God damn it, I got shit in the back. Anyway, you don't get, why is it raining? Why is it raining? You don't get points for throwing a flurry, missing 90% of those punches in the flurry. You don't win for that, right? Oscar De La Hoya did the same thing with Floyd Mayweather, right? He did the same thing. Floyd Mayweather won though. He won hands down against Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was coming in. Oscar De La Hoya didn't have the fancy footwork that Lomachenko does, but he was throwing a lot of flurries, a lot of just Hail Mary punches, missing the vast majority of them, and people were like, "Oh yeah, right?" The crowd was hyped, but at the end of the day, if you're still getting countered at the end, and you only landed 1 or 2 of those 20 punches, then you're not going. That's not how you win, okay? Now, Devin Haney was way more accurate with his punches. Way more accurate. He picked a lot of his shots more because, he's a boxer, right? He outboxed Lomachenko, if you ask me. Maybe in 2 rounds, Lomachenko outboxed Devin Haney. People saying that, Devin Haney's head got snapped back and he rocked him and all this, that, and the third. Listen, if you rock somebody, okay, and you only rock him in 2 rounds, but you lost 8 rounds before that, that does not mean you won the fight. It just doesn't. You don't win by, and listen, rocking someone's head or snapping someone's head back does not count as a knockdown. See, people think that if he snapped his head back, therefore it's not, you don't count that the same as you would a knockdown, okay? It just doesn't work like that. Throwing a bunch of flurries, landing very little of them, throwing inactivity in the first half of the fight, very, very little activity. Getting body blows, body shots landed on you consistently and consecutively, getting countered a bunch of times in the first half of the fight, getting countered by left hooks, getting countered by straight right hands, getting countered by body shots, all these things. If that's happening to you for 7 rounds at least, you cannot win unless you knock a motherfucker out. Lomachenko would have had to make Devin Haney quit, got a stoppage, or knocked him out in order to win the fight. None of those things happened. Now, I said the vast majority of the people that watched the fight initially had Lomachenko winning. But guess what happened when they went back and watched it again? A lot of those people, they changed their motherfucking mind. They changed their mind because they had to, what you remember most during a fight like that is what you saw last. The last few rounds. You saw Devin Haney get his head snapped back. You saw him get rocked. I'm sorry, but none of those things equate to anything. Okay? Yeah, it looks better in that particular round for the judge or judges. It looks better for that round. for those rounds that he did that in. And even the knockdown. You knock somebody down in a round, you win that round. But that does not give you the entire fucking fight. You score it by round. That's why they have 12 rounds. That's why they have, 6 rounds to 6, 7 rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4. That's why you judge it like that. That's why you score it like that. Because you can't just knock somebody down in 1 or 2 rounds and lose every other round of the fight except for maybe 1 or 2 more. That's not how this thing works. And he never even knocked Devin Haney down. He rocked him and snapped his head back. Snapping someone's head back is not a rocking, okay? If you hit somebody and their head go like that, but they're still able to defend themselves after that, and they're not wobbling, that's not a rocking. Getting rocked is, if you get rocked, you wobble, you might have to take a knee or something like that. You're like out of it. Maybe you're out on your feet for a half a second. But that didn't happen. You know who rocked Devin Haney? Linares. Linares rocked Devin Haney. But it just so happened to be the end of the round, and he was saved by the goddamn bell. You understand what I'm saying? Devin Haney got saved by the bell. But all those people who say Devin Haney ain't got no chin, if Devin Haney ain't got no chin, why he ain't never been knocked out? Why he ain't never been knocked down before? Why was he only really, really rocked one time in his career? His pro career. By Linares. And you know what they're going to do. They're going to show over and over again all the things, all the shorts and all the clips they're going to show are of Lomachenko landing that right hand or that left hand, that straight left hand, and making Haney go like that. That's all they're going to show. That's all they're going to show. They're not going to show the superb body work. They're not going to show all the counters. They're not going to show any of that with Devin Haney. And yeah, one thing I will say about Devin Haney in that fight, he had a problem taking his head off the center line. They did that white man dirty? No, they didn't. Haney ate more combos. Listen, he didn't eat no combos. You understand what I'm saying? He maybe, listen, landing punches on a glove does not mean that you ate a punch. I'm sorry. Devin Haney won the earlier rounds and a few more rounds in the later rounds. Point blank and period. Again, Lomachenko might have landed a few good combos in 2 or 3 rounds. That does not win you the fight. They did not do that white man dirty. That white man gonna be all right. That white man gonna be all right. He lost. Period. He lost. And that's just the bottom line to it. And I don't care what you say. That's just what it is. I know boxing. I box myself. You know what I'm saying? I've sparred many times. I need to get back to sparring. I ain't sparred in a couple years, but I need to get back to sparring. But anyway, it's just the bottom line. Devin Haney won. He won a boxing match. And Lomachenko won a couple of boxing rounds. That does not win you the fight. Period. There was somebody that said, I mean, go look. Don't take my word for it. Go see what Coach Kenny said. Gervonta Tank Davis's coach. Go see what he said. He had Haney winning 8-4. We're talking about Gervonta Tank Davis's coach. Coach Calvin didn't give him 8-4, but he said, hey, he's not mad at the result. And he is not a barometer. He's not the one. Okay. Ellie saying he ain't gonna watch boxing ever again. Okay, good for him. I've seen many people say they're not gonna watch a sport. They say they weren't gonna watch the NFL again. They're not gonna watch this sport, that sport. Yet here they are. Next season they watching the NFL. Like, they stopped kneeling. Whatever. You're full of shit. Devin Haney won point blank in the period. I don't care what y'all say. He won. Just go back and watch. And then people want to talk about the copy box numbers. Listen, the copy box numbers, that's not what judges go by. Okay? The copy box number is going to tell you how much somebody threw versus what they landed. Devin Haney's accuracy was higher than Lomachenko's. Lomachenko threw more punches than Devin Haney, but his accuracy was for shit. Period. They didn't do that white man dirty. You know who they did dirty? They did Rolly Romero's last opponent dirty. That was fucking dirty. Alright? You talking about this man got dropped and they didn't call it a knockdown. And when Rolly Romero hit the old man in the shoulder, Brazos in the shoulder, the ref stopped the fight from a shoulder punch. Listen, hitting somebody in the shoulder, let me tell y'all something. Hitting somebody in the shoulder, in the glove, in the arm, in the elbow, it doesn't count. Throwing a flurry and hitting somebody in the gloves a bunch of times with the flurry and missing other times does not count towards points in boxing. It just doesn't. Rolly Romero, my racial bias is showing. You the motherfucker brought up race, you idiot. You brought up race. You said the white man, the poor white man. You brought up race. I didn't bring up no goddamn race. That's your monkey ass. That's you, Dead Mike. You brought up race. Your racial bias is showing, clown. But keep talking shit. Rolly Romero versus Brazos was a robbery. Okay? Rolly Romero was clearly given a gift. That is not the case with Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko lost. Get over it. He lost. He can try to appeal. It ain't gonna happen because all they're gonna do is review the goddamn fight like everybody else who now thinks that Devin Haney won and say, you know what? Yeah, Devin Haney definitely won this fight. But I didn't have to watch it twice to know because I looked at it through unbiased lenses. I like Lomachenko to a degree. I don't like how he denies two of his losses. He already denied 2 of his losses. He thinks he's undefeated at this point. He thought he was undefeated before he came up against Devin Haney. So, you know, I don't like that about him. He's a sore fucking loser. No, you're not. You're telling me I'm having racial bias, and you're not being respectful. Telling somebody to have racial bias when they didn't even mention race is completely disingenuous, and there ain't no respect in that. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna talk my shit. You gonna come talk shit? I'm gonna talk shit too. You tell me I'm having racial bias. You brought up the poor white man. I did not. I didn't say nothing about no white nothing. So you can call me triggered if you want to. I'm just defending my position and letting you know I ain't no goddamn racial bias on my part. There's no anger, nothing like that. Anyway. People want to call it a robbery, but they call it a close fight. How is it a robbery if it's a close fight? The same people saying that it was close are calling it a robbery. That don't make no goddamn sense. That don't make no sense. If it's a close fight, it could go either way. So how is it? I don't think it was a close fight. I think Devin Haney won handedly. But if you call it a close fight, and then you say it could have went either way, how are you then saying it's a robbery in the same breath? These people don't make no sense. And Timothy Bradley is another clown, right? Timothy Bradley is a clown who, let me tell you about, I'm gonna tell you where the bias really is. Timothy Bradley, there's one particular instance where Devin Haney missed a right hand. Right? Missed the right hand, and it kind of went over Lomachenko, wrapped around him, and it was kind of like a little clinch right there for a little bit. All Lomachenko did was slip the right hand. That Lomachenko slipped Devin Haney's right hand, got caught up because Devin Haney was laying on him a little bit, and it was broken up. And Timothy Bradley said, "Oh, look at that. Lomachenko slipped or took his head offline from Devin Haney's right hand and threw two left and landed two left hooks." And they rewinded it. They replayed that particular instance, and Lomachenko didn't even throw anything. How is Timothy Bradley saying that Lomachenko landed two left hooks or two lefts when Lomachenko did not do shit? Lomachenko did not counter that right hand at all. But you're trying to tell us that he landed two lefts? This is what I'm saying. You see, people are already hating on Devin Haney. They were booing him when he got into the arena. They didn't like him because he pushed Lomachenko. I didn't like that. I thought it was silly because I knew this was going to happen. Well, I didn't know this was going to happen. What I thought was going to happen was that if Devin Haney won handedly, I thought that he was going to get robbed. That's what I thought. I was like, oh shit, Devin Haney going to have to knock him out now because he pushed Lomachenko. But that's not what happened. I was wrong about that. But I didn't think it was a smart move for Haney. That was stupid, actually. It was dumb. For Devin Haney to push Lomachenko. That's where he lost. He lost in the court of public opinion because he pushed Lomachenko. All right. Devin Haney turned himself into a villain trying to sell the fight. That's what he was doing. He said it was built up anger and emotion from 4 years of chasing Lomachenko, blah, blah, blah. Which could be partly true. That could be partly true. But you're talking shit to Lomachenko. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to get Lomachenko to react. Lomachenko didn't react. So Devin Haney pushed him. Part of a script, I believe. I think Devin Haney scripted that. I think that Lomachenko was supposed to react in the script, but he didn't react, so Devin Haney had to improvise. But it wasn't the right move. It wasn't the right move. Because at this point, you're not coming off as a bad guy. All right? You're not very boisterous. You're not a big shit talker. You know, he can be arrogant, you know, as he should be. Self-confident, you know. But up to this point, you're not the rah-rah guy. Okay? Now, there is a level of hypocrisy when it comes to Devin Haney pushing. When it comes to Devin Haney pushing Loma versus other fighters that done similar things, like Gervonta Tank Davis pushed Rolly Romero off the stage, right? He chin checked Ryan Garcia. Caleb Plant pushed Canelo. These things happen, but for whatever reason, it's so devastating for people when Haney does it. I wasn't devastated. I was just like, well, it's not smart to do it because Devin Haney, Lomachenko he ain't like that. Lomachenko's not in your face talking shit. He's not doing it. He's just standing there staring at you. Now, Lomachenko did talk a little shit saying that Devin Haney missed weight 3 times. Stirring the pot a little bit. But that's a whole different story, man. Then Mike says, am I going to bulk up again? No. No, I'm main gaining. I don't. Okay, so the last time I gained weight, it wasn't intentional. I was just being lazy and eating anything. The last time I gained weight was in February of last year. You know, it wasn't deliberate. But no, I'm not bulking up again. I'm still 190. I'm between 190 and 195. I'm maintaining that weight, but I'm putting on more muscle. So I'm trying to keep the muscle going, keep the muscle up, and not be all, have some level of muscle on me without gaining too much weight. So I've been able to stay in the 190, 195 range at 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. So I'm 6 foot, 190. This morning I weighed like 191 this morning. Yesterday I weighed 195. So I fluctuate. Every now and then I'll get up to 198, but I have been able to keep my weight under control while trying to keep some level of muscle mass on me, you know, to maintain my strength. It's really for strength, not really to bodybuild. I'm not bodybuilding, so I'm just trying to maintain strength and power and explosiveness. That's what I work out for. That I work out for explosiveness, speed, power. I'm not working out for aesthetics necessarily. I mean, I keep the body fat low enough for my body to look aesthetically pleasing, but I'm not trying to bodybuild. No. I want to keep my weight down. I want to stay light on my feet, flexible, limber. You know, I did some yoga this morning. I do yoga. I do animal flow movements. So on top of, I'll go to the gym and I'll lift like 20 or 30 minutes worth of weights. But they're explosive exercises, you know what I'm saying? Particularly with the lower body. My lower body are more explosive exercises. So I'll do a lot of Russian twists. So let's say I do like 6 Russian twists, not Russian twists, Russian splits. So squats, I'll do weight. I'll drop the weight after I do 6, and then I'll do 6 jumping, you know, jumping up in the air, and basically kneeing, you know, like I'll jump up, I keep my leg 1 foot on the bench and jump with the other leg and basically thrust my knee up, shit like that. So a lot of explosive exercises, a lot of like things like that, a lot of core stability exercises, but I keep it to about 30 minutes. I don't need to be in there for hours trying to reach hypertrophy. I'm not doing that. How's Muay Thai? Well, that's why I ain't been sparring in a while. Another reason I ain't been sparring in a while is I'm traveling while I'm working. And so, you know, it's really hard to like get to a gym and train with other people in a like martial arts gym because, you know, right now we're working like 10 hours, 12 hours, and I get up at 3:30 in the morning, my drills, just to stay sharp and get my cardio in. That's when I get my cardio in. I get my cardio in the morning at like 3:30. Boom, I do like an hour and a half worth of cardio with the with my training dummy. You know, I'll hit that, do my drills with that for about an hour and a half. Go to work, and then for lunch I'll leave work, go to the gym. Boom, because my lunch is an hour. Boom, hit about 20 or 30 minutes doing the explosive exercises with the weights. Then I eat lunch and then I go back to work. So, and then after work, I just want to go home, decompress, get ready for the next day. Because by the time I get done taking the shower, getting my food ready for the next day, washing these little dishes that I gotta wash, it's basically time for me to go to bed. I try to get in bed around 7:30. Because I gotta wake up at 8:30. I try to get a good amount of sleep. So it's hard to get to the gym for me. But I still work out every day. At some point, once I get certain things off the ground with my because I want to get into training full time. Training. Being a fitness coach full time. But first I'm going to start with boot camps on the weekends. Like Saturday morning things to do. And every now and then I'll do I'll go on rucking. I'll host some rucking sessions, you know, on the trails and stuff like that. I'll start that on the weekend. And once I build up enough of a buzz for that, build up a big enough clientele to where, okay, I can train people full time throughout the week. That's what I plan on getting into that. And then I can focus on going back to the gyms and training in gyms with, you know, and Muay Thai gyms. You know what I'm saying? I can't really read. Let me try. But, you know, listen, I'm not here to shit on anybody's opinion about Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. The thing is this. If you take the same 3 rounds, if you take the 3 rounds that Loma won, that 3 or 4 rounds that Loma won, and try to say, well, because of those 4 rounds, Loma won the fight, then it just doesn't compute. So let me see that. It doesn't compute. You know why? Well, if Loma won four rounds, right? Loma won 4 rounds. There's 12 total rounds in a boxing match. Loma did not knock out Devin Haney. Devin did not knock out Lomachenko. So what does that mean? You got to go to the scorecard cards. And how is everything scored? You score everything by rounds, right? So if you lose 7 to 8 rounds, you lost those rounds. Those are done. It's a wrap. Those cannot be adjusted. That's why the judges write the score in that for that round on the card when that round is done. They can't go back and adjust shit based on what happens in future rounds. So if Lomachenko did like this to Devin Haney, for total, Lomachenko could have landed 8 million punches in those 4 rounds he won. I want you guys to understand this about scoring boxing. Lomachenko could have landed 8 million punches in rounds in those 4 rounds. Okay? Okay. Lomachenko could have landed more punches in those 4 rounds than Devin Haney won in the 8 rounds he won. Hear me again. Lomachenko could have landed more punches in those 4 rounds he won than Devin Haney won in the 8 rounds, landed in the 8 rounds he won. And he might have, according to CompuBox numbers, he landed more punches. But he threw way more punches than Haney, and his accuracy rating was lower. Lomachenko's accuracy was lower than Devin Haney's. You understand what I'm saying? So, but most of those punches that he landed were in those 4 rounds he won. So, like I said, even if you out punch, outland your opponent in 4 rounds that you won, and plus you got all the punches he landed in the rounds he lost. But Devin Haney won those rounds. It's a wrap. It's done. Once he won those rounds, you can't take the rounds back. You can't go back and say, you know what, Lomachenko, he landed way more punches in these 2 rounds than Devin Haney landed in the first 8 rounds, or in the first 7 rounds, or the first 6 rounds, however you want to slice it. It don't work like that. All he did by landing more than Devin Haney did was win those 4 rounds. He can't retroactively win rounds he already lost because he looked so good in 2 or 3 or 4 rounds. It doesn't work like that. Most people don't understand that. You can't do that. Every round is counted at the end of the fight. So you don't dismiss rounds because you feel like Devin Haney wasn't as aggressive in 4 of those 12 rounds. You can't do that. The judges already scored those rounds. The judges already scored those rounds, gave him Devin Haney. That's it. Once that's done, it's a wrap. And Devin Haney could have just picked his shots in those 8 rounds. He picked this, and that's what he did. He picked his shots. He outboxed him. Every time Lomachenko tried to turn him, Haney turned right with him, met him, countered him. He check hooked them all. There were so many check hooks. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all need to go back and watch that fight. The check hooks that Devin Haney landed were immaculate. The body shots, the 1-2s, every punch you can think of, Devin Haney threw it and landed them. Right? Well, somebody said, "Oh, how can you win a fight with just throwing body shots?" What? What? What are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. You call yourself a boxing fan, and you ask a question like that. How can you win a fight by throwing body punches? And that's what people are acting like. All he did was throw body shots. All he did was throw body shots. No, that's not all he did. He threw a lot of check hooks. He threw a jab. He threw a jab, check hook. You know, a counter. He threw uppercuts like nobody's business. Right uppercuts that caught Lomachenko a lot of times as he was turning. So Lomachenko would turn, Devin Haney would turn, and boom, catch him with a hook, an uppercut. He threw a lot of those, landed a lot of uppercuts, landed check hooks, landed body shots, landed some jabs. Lomachenko clinched a lot. People thought that Devin Haney was going to clinch a lot. Lomachenko clinched a lot. And then would act like Devin Haney was the one initiating the clinch, like he was trying to hold him hard, and then he would like hip toss him and all this silly shit. That's not how you win a boxing match. You don't get points for hip tossing. You understand? So somebody said, "Oh, how do you win with just body?" Listen, that's how you break down your opponent. That's one way you can break down your opponent. Get him to lower his guard a little bit, boom, start landing headshots. Or you can take the wind out of him, take the injury out of him, throw him off his game. Lomachenko, he's not good with body shots. He threw him off because everybody knows Devin Haney beat Kambosos with that jab in their first fight. Kambosos was playing for that in the second fight. Devin Haney threw a lot of 1-2s, a lot of 2-3s. He threw a lot. He stood in the pocket with him and landed a lot of good short punches. Devin Haney changed it up. But for some reason, Lomachenko said all Devin Haney has is a jab. Just like all Ryan Garcia has is a left hook. True for Ryan Garcia. But Devin Haney, he has more than just a jab. He has good footwork, right? He has great boxing, great ring IQ. He knows how to mix it up. He just don't have the devastating punching power, right? But his chin is a lot tougher than people think because Lomachenko was not able to drop him. Kambosos wasn't able to drop him. Linares wasn't able to drop him. When Lomachenko got dropped by Linares, listen, at the end of the day, those great 4 rounds that Lomachenko won were not enough. I'm going to say it again. Those 4 great rounds that Lomachenko won, undoubtedly won. 3 undoubtedly. 1 or 4, maybe. 5, you're pushing it with 5. But with 3, he won decisively those rounds. And again, he might have thrown more punches. Well, he definitely threw more punches. He might have landed more punches than Devin Haney. But if the majority of those punches are done in 3 rounds and 4 rounds, and the rest, not very much activity. Your assets are being, all your weapons are being taken away from you. You're being countered. You're getting hit with body shots, uppercuts, check hooks. You're trying to turn them, but you can't really turn them. You're trying to do your little tricks. You're trying to matricize a motherfucker, but you can't matricize a motherfucker. You don't win. You don't win like that. Period. Whew. Speaking of winning like that, I'm off that. Devin Haney won. Point blanket period. But I will say this, though. Devin Haney need to go up to 140. That's enough for this 135 stuff. Here's what he can do. You really want to fight Tank? You really want to fight Shakur Stevenson? Maybe do it at a catchweight. If you just want to fight him, do it at a catchweight. But you got to let those belts go. You got to go to 140. Now, I think Tank Davis wins against Devin Haney. I think he'd probably knock him out. But what needs to happen is Devin Haney would need to meet Tank Davis halfway. Don't come down to 136. No fucking rehydration clause. Maybe do a catch weight at 138. 138. Boom. I think that's a good sweet spot. Tank, he can get up to 138. Devin Haney can come down to 138 without no problems, really. No rehydration clause. Boom. You make it work like that. Because that's going to be a legacy fight. The Lomachenko fight was a legacy fight. Tank Davis fighting Ryan Garcia was a legacy fight. Now, and with Shakur Stevenson, same thing. Well, Shakur might want the belts. I don't think Shakur would fight Devin without the belts being at stake. So, maybe you don't fight Shakur, man. Leave the belts up. And maybe Shakur will have to fight Gervonta Tank Davis for the belts. That's what probably should happen. Devin Haney goes up. Gervonta Tank Davis fights Shakur Stevenson for undisputed. For the vacant undisputed fights. You know? Oh. That's what I think should happen. And if Devin Haney wants to fight Shakur Stevenson or Tank, Shakur Stevenson, I don't think he's going to go up to 138 to fight Devin Haney. I don't think he wants to do that. But I think Tank Davis would. You know, make that a good little legacy fight. Make that a big money fight. And then they can go on their separate way. You know? Tank Davis beats Devin Haney. Devin Haney doesn't get any real problems, you know, issues, you know. He lost to the best puncher boxer in the game right now. Tank Davis is the best puncher boxer in boxing. And that's, I mean, Tank Davis is probably the most well-rounded boxer. Hands down right now. He has a boxing IQ. He has a boxing skill. He has a ring IQ. He has the power and the explosiveness. He has the defense. What does Tank Davis not have? I can't think of anything that Tank Davis ain't got. Tank Davis has all the goods. So he's the best. Tank Davis to me is the best boxer right now. But anyway, speaking of fighting, Senator Chris Murphy. I know you guys heard about this. And this is going to be a quick take. And I got to get off this thing. Senator Chris Murphy is basically saying there'll be a revolt, right? Against the gun lobby, against pro-2A advocates. My question is, what they going to revolt with? What are you going to revolt with? What are these people going to revolt with? They don't want guns. They don't like guns. They hate guns. They think nobody should have guns. So how are they going to revolt against anything without firearms? They would need the Second Amendment to revolt against those who want to keep the Second Amendment. You understand what I'm saying? So if you get your way, they don't really want anybody to have firearms. They don't want regular ass motherfuckers to have firearms. They want their security and their enforcers to have firearms. So, but if you're talking about a revolt, if you're talking about a revolt is an armed resistance. Armed resistance. How are you going to have an armed resistance without an arm? You don't think civilians should have that. Yet you're saying the constituents are going to have to revolt? Like, what they going to revolt with? They're going to pick up some sticks? They're going to get some rocks? They're going to build some trebuchets, and are they going to build some catapults with tar and rock? What are we talking about here? How are you going to revolt against the 2A without the 2A to back you up? You cannot revolt without arms. It's like an insurrection. An insurrection has to be armed to be an insurrection. You can't take over shit without arms. How are anti-2A, gun snatching freedom haters going to revolt without their freedoms to keep their arms? Help me out with that. What, you going to use the 2A to have your arms to revolt and then have the 2A taken away? Oh, now that we've used 2A to arm ourselves to revolt, we're going to now get rid of the 2A. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. See, this is what they're relying on. They're relying on law enforcers, military. Oh, we won't need that. We'll just need the cops and the soldiers to go in and take your guns. Good luck with that. Anyway, but y'all motherfuckers don't like cops. But cops are gonna have to be the one to enforce these gun control laws that you guys want so badly. But you don't want the cops. And that's why what's happening in Portland is happening. That's why what's happening in parts of Atlanta are happening. Like, y'all full of shit. You have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. I'm gonna get off this here live stream and holler at y'all later. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. And Devin Haney won.